Hi everyone, welcome back to our planner page. We are going to start with some greens. I just want to get some of all these pretty leaves done and then we'll know where we're at really with other colours. Let's come into about here. So I'm going to start with the vines on the little house here. What should we choose? I'm going to choose my longest green. It's not a good reason, permanent green. Some of my greens are running out. I haven't got replacements for all of them. So I'm just using what I've got that's large enough. I'm using Polychromos. I forgot to tell you yesterday what I was using. If you are watching one of my videos and you are a little bit confused as to which pencils I'm using, look in the description, it will say there. I always pop it in there so that you know, and I try and pop in a list of the colours I've used too in case you want to grab them first. It's actually what I tend to do when I'm doing a tutorial if they don't use too many colours. I was doing one this morning actually and I grabbed out all the pencils first. I'm not going to do this sort of leafy roof yet. I'm going to do all these little detailed plants first. So that is the permanent green. I'm just moving my pencil sharpener out of the way, even though I'm going to need it straight away. We're going to do this sort of one right up on the high shelf. And I picked permanent green olive. I'm going to do this one. I was thinking that I would probably do all the plant pots in a similar or the same colour. I think it will be easier and quicker rather than trying to keep choosing all the time, and I think it will also look better in my opinion. I also think that if you have lots, if you keep to certain colours, it can look better. Oh, before I swap colours, I'm actually going to go back to this permanent green olive again and use it for the other plants that look like this. So this one looks the same, so I can use it for that one as well, and for this one. So I hope everyone's doing well today. I hope you're all maybe colouring something or relaxing. Maybe you've got a cup of coffee or something, you know, and sitting. Just heard a fly. I'm sure there's not one in here. Anyway, I hope you're sitting comfortably. I sound like I'm about to read your story. I'm not. This is the juniper green. I'm going to go for this one. Yeah, I think it's quite important to sit well. I've said this many times. Whether you're just listening, whether you're colouring, whatever you're doing, make sure you're in a good position with your sitting. Now I'm not going to do anything fancy with these. They're so little that I'm just blocking them in. I'm going to use this colour twice. Here, I think, on this cacti. There we go. Chromium green opaque. This one. There we go. Yeah, I don't tend to sit that well when I'm in here recording, but when I'm sitting at my desk, when I'm editing and colouring and things, then I do sit well. It's just a little bit awkward in here because of the position of the desk, but there we go. It doesn't, I'm not in here long enough for it to be a problem, so that's good. I was talking, my husband asked me what I would like done in here to make it a better space, but I gave him a very unrealistic answer in that I wanted so many things out of here to make it more relaxing because there's so much junk. The good thing is, I mean, I say junk, some of it's mine, it's not just his, it's just stuff. The good thing is that because I've got my back to the room, I can't see all the stuff, so that helps. then I don't have to see it, or else it would make me feel stressed. Don't like, but anyway. Now I think I'm going to use the May green next. I'm just randomly picking greens. This is not, there's no rhyme and reason. So if you have favourite greens that you like to use, then grab those. You know, it's not really that important. And I'm going to use it on this one. Just seen another one that looks like the first one. You probably noticed it with these loops. I'm going to do that in a different colour. Why not? I'm probably going to avoid the bluey greens. Just stick to these sorts of shades. So go for the chrome oxide green, which I need to sharpen. We have a sort of tree, don't we, here? Okay, G2. Yeah, this is from Ivy. I've been doing a fair bit from Ivy lately. It's a nice book. I find that what I do is that when Johanna gets a new book out, like with Small Victories, then I tend to just concentrate on that. And then once I've finished her new book, which I have now with Small Victories, I will move back to some of her older books and do some work in there. Now, I really want to finish another one of her books before her new one comes out, but I don't think I've got a chance, to be honest. I've got so many pages left, but I'm having a lot of fun colouring in Ivy at the moment. Just doing a page at the moment, a sort of, it's one of the ones that's like a border around the words, and it's I'm following a tutorial for filigree. Gonna sort of do a circular movement here around this one to make it look more bushy. Just remember there's some tennis on telly today, which I'll have a look at later. It's this is the leaf green. It's the beginning of the grass court season in tennis. If you don't follow tennis, then basically they play on hard courts outdoors, they play on indoor courts, they play on clay, that's just finished, and then they play on grass, and the end of the grass court season is Wimbledon, which I'm sure all UK people have heard of, but maybe not so much other people unless you're a tennis fan. I can do this one in one of the colours I've used already. I think this one, the permanent green olive. So the grass court's just started, and we get a lot of TV coverage of the grass court tennis season. I think just because a lot of it is in this country. There are some matches in Germany. Now this has got lots of different leaves. I've got the same colour in my hand. I think I'm going to do them all different colours. This is the juniper green. And I might use this juniper green for this tree as well. So at the moment, so we have, there's the Nottingham Open, there's Eastbourne, there's one in Birmingham, there's then there's Queen's Club, which is in London just before Wimbledon. Can't remember what the one in Birmingham is called. Edgbaston, that's right. It's a part. Edgbaston is an area of Birmingham. I only know that because I applied to the university to do my degree there, which didn't get the grades. Leaf green, and I think that's where their halls of residence are, Edgbaston. My husband went to that university, May Green, but I didn't know him then. We didn't meet until we were in our mid to late 20s. Me mid, him late. Chromium green opaque. And yeah, we got married, he was 30. I was 27, maybe. Chrome oxide green. We were quite old, really. But it took us a while to find each other. But that's okay. Right, now we have the roof to do. And I think these are leaves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pine green, I think. Juniper green, sorry. Not the pine green. The juniper green that we've used already. And I'm going to colour it all over first. Not, yeah, all over. Do you think those are windows? Yeah, let's do them as, let's do them as windows. Like cadmium yellow is what we use for our windows. Let's do them as windows. You don't have to. If you don't think they're windows, don't do them as windows. There we go. And then everything else is going to have a light layer of juniper. Yeah, we actually met online dating. It wasn't really a big thing back then. Well, I mean, obviously we were both doing it, so it must have been big enough. But my sister was working for a company that designed websites, and she also had designed, well, she designed the website of the company she worked for, and then they used to get her designing other people's websites too. And on the website that I'm going to do this bit darker. Just adding another layer. On the website that they were advertising on, it had online dating, and she was like, "Oh, this is a weird new thing. It looks a bit scammy." She said, "Can you try it out because you're single?" She was as well. We both tried it out, and I ended up meeting my husband through it. I met a few other blokes first, but they always wanted to meet me really quickly, whereas I was quite shy. And I'm just trying to pick a colour for the leaves. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the chrome oxide green. I'm going to sharpen it and need a sharp pencil for what I'm going to do. Okay, chrome oxide green. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a similar thing to what I did with the bark. So go across from the line like that. So all start on the same side and just put a dark area and then fade it across until you get to the next line, or not quite until you get to the next line, so you leave a bit of pale a bit. Yeah, so but he was much more patient. He asked to meet me and I said I'm not ready yet. He's like, okay. And he did nag me a little bit, but not too much. Whereas other people, as soon as I said no, I'm not interested yet, they'd stop talking to me. They just wanted to meet someone quickly. I can guess what they were probably after. But I was cautious. I'd been slightly upset in a previous, it wasn't even a proper relationship, it was a friendship, and then the guy wanted to take it further and I didn't, and then he got really upset and started crying and saying that I'd ruined his life and things. It was horrible, and so I was really cautious that I didn't want things to move too quickly. I'm just gonna shade that in a bit, you know, I didn't want that sort of thing to happen, and you know, again. And so anyway, we took things nice and slowly. I was fine, and we met in after about 3 months of emailing each other every day. And then, you know, although I was saying I didn't want to take things too fast, we were talking about marriage and children on our first date because we just got on so well, and we just knew that it was working, you know, which was really lovely. And here we are on we've been married 23.5 years, which is quite a long time. we've had our moments, even actually quite recently, sticky moments, nothing, you know, neither of us has done anything horrible, you know, there's been no affairs, no nastiness, it's just, you know, you get busy with life, you drift apart a little bit. You know, he had a lot of stress and I found it really hard to cope with it and things like that. But we've got through that now, which is great, and all is good. Now, I'm going to next do these stones. I know why suddenly, don't know. And I'm going to use the walnut brown, where we've been using this before for other things. I quite like the idea of repeating colours through, you know, to have a bit of consistency. And with this stone, it's quite small. I'm going to try and make it a little dark at the bottom and light as we go up. Now you might want to do this grey, these stones, and of course you can. There's a name, isn't there, for a pile of stones? I don't know if that's only a pile of stones on a beach or if any pile of stones has that name, but the name won't come to me. Right, I've missed a plant. Here he is. I'm going to grab a random colour, May green, and do that. Okay, now pots we're going to do next. I want the pots to be terracotta. I picked up the wrong colour. I picked up the sanguine. They're similar, aren't they? Now, terracotta. So we're going to start with this one. It's coming a bit closer for you. Now we're doing a quick layer, light layer of terracotta. Okay, then darker on the edges and fade it in. You can leave it there or put in some shadow under some of the details. You can do this in a different colour pencil too, but I'm just keeping it, I want to keep it all terracotta. There's that. Now our row of pots. This one looks like a basket, but I'm afraid it's a terracotta pot now, and just a bit darker here and here. I think that looks like a stem. I'm going to grab my walnut brown and I'm going to make it into a stem, stalk, trunk, whatever, and I'm going to do this one just because I happen to have that colour in my hand, and make it a little bit darker on the edges if I can compared to the middle. We've got a stem on this one as well. You might want to do some of the stems green, but I'm happy with that. Terracotta. Next pot, again, light layer, then we start to layer it up darker here, like that. Light layer, darker each side, just working our way across, nice and straightforward. I don't have to keep thinking about colour, I'm just using the same ones all the time. And of course you don't have to, you can chop and change, use different colours, use different techniques, all sorts of things. It's completely up to you. A bit of shadow under there. But I'm just keeping it easy and simple. It's quite a complicated page. It's quite nice to keep it simple, I think. So a bit more here and a bit more there. Now, they don't stand out that well from the background at the moment, but they will. The background is going to change a little bit, I think. I'm going to add in some other colours to it, but I just wanted to get this bit done so I can see what's what. Sometimes I like doing the background first so I can see what's going on with the foreground, and with this case it's the opposite applies. See, I can see there's a gap there which I didn't notice before, and a gap there. You know, it just helps me see what's going on. Put a bit of shadow under there and under there. It's just very easy and quick. This one at the front, spiky cacti. My husband likes doing cacti. He's been doing some more at the moment. He was drawing, it was very interesting. He had this painting and he said, this painting is better than this painting, I think. And I was like, yeah, I think so. He said, why? What makes it better? What can I do to change the other one so that it looks as good as this one, sort of thing? Which is a really interesting exercise that actually any of us can do with our pictures. And I do it with other people's as well. I'm not rude. I don't do it to their face or anything. I look at pictures and I go, that picture is amazing. What makes that picture more amazing than, say, my version of that page, for example? And so I have a look and I think, is it the colour? Is it the shading? Is it the background? What is it that makes it better? I'm just looking to see if I've missed any. Don't think I have, but we're going to do that tree trunk in the walnut brown. And so I go through my head just trying to work out what is it, because sometimes you just look at a picture and you go wow, but you don't think and analyse it through. What is it that makes it wow, you know? And that can help you a lot. Now let's work on our background colour, our sort of building colour next. I am going to use this colour. I'm trying to work out which colour it is, because this is the, sorry, it's the dark flesh. I'm just trying to work out what its modern name is. It's the salmon. Okay, the salmon. And I'm going to start actually up here on this house. Now we've got this sort of framework and these bits. What I'm going to do is actually go over all of this in the salmon apart from the door frame and the details, and then hopefully it will look a little bit more interesting. We'll add another detail again in a minute. Well, a few lines. It's amazing what a difference just a few lines can sometimes make to a picture. So thinking under this roof, if we put a darker bit, it can give quite an impact. And around the door frame, window frame, whatever it is. Now I've done all my other window frames in brown, but this one I sort of did the same colour as the building because I thought it was just, it wasn't the same. It was just an opening or whatever. So I'm going to leave it. You can change that up if you want. Now here, if we look, we've got this piece, which is the outside, and this bit here is the back wall. So I'm going to colour this back wall with this pencil. This, what did I say it was? Salmon. And just make this a little bit darker so that you can see the difference between this overhang bit of wall and the sort of inside bit where I think it would be a little bit darker. And now we've coloured our plants, we can see a little bit better where the colour needs to go. We can also cheat a little bit and go over the lines a bit and go over the top of some of the leaves, and you won't really see because they're so dark. And you would if you looked really closely with a microscope or even with a sort of magnifying glass, but I hope no one's going to do that to my picture. I just want to make it a little bit simpler for me and for you, particularly for me. So it's just this layer of colour. I rather like this colour actually. It, you know, being a pink, I'm not normally that keen, but this one, it's almost a reddish orangish pink. I quite like it compared to, you know, a fuchsia pink. But you know this anyway if you've watched my videos. You know I don't like pinky pinks. I'm not a big fan of purpley pinks either, to be fair. Okay, now I'm going to do this bit. This bit doesn't look like I've coloured it in the camera, but believe me I have. I'm going to do these inside bits in this as if we're looking through a sort of fence, as if it might be like a balcony. Now I'm looking at the time, wondering whether to make this do and sort of get finished in this video, or whether to do another one. I think I might do another one because I don't want to rush. Oh, my telephone's ringing. I wonder if my son will get it. He is. I'm going to just finish these last two and then I'm going to get the phone. Right, I am back, having been on the phone. I am just looking at what I was doing. Okay, so we need to do the back of this bit down here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the rest of that balcony sort of bit there yet. So I'm going to do this bit here. I don't want it to be too dark. I'm thinking that's a little bit darker than I really wanted. But I'm going to do... I just want it to look a little bit darker than the bottom, so it looks like we're sort of looking into the back of the room, and also so that shelf looks like, or floor, looks like it's standing out a little bit. Yeah, it was my mum on the phone, had a nice little natter, so that was good. She's going on holiday soon. She's getting all excited, so that's really nice. Well, also worrying about, oh, I don't know what clothes to take. We're going on the train, so we can't have too many cases and all this sort of thing, you know. The thing is, she always overpacks, you know. She usually has a complete change of clothes every day, I think. So she won't be able to do that on holiday, so I think she doesn't want to just take one jumper and one pair of trousers, you know. She wants to take quite a few. So anyway, she'll work it out. I'm still looking at this, not sure what to... I think I might just put a little bit around the edge and then leave it at that. Yeah. And then this house, it's come across, you can't see. I'm going to put a little bit on the background bit because this is standing forwards a bit. Now I'm quite aware that the little house on the roof that we did first is actually quite a bit darker than the rest. I'm not sure whether I need to do the rest a bit darker, but I'll just keep going and see how it looks at the end. I think I'm going to put a little bit extra here just so it looks like there's some shadow. Go around the little flowers behind the steps. Now I think I'm going to colour these in. I was thinking of leaving them like I did on the other house, but I think rather than leaving them I'm going to colour them in. Try and put a bit of shadow under here. Just adding a little bit of extra colour here and there. And then our side room, I haven't done the one on the other side, I realised that. We'll do this one first. So I want to just bring a bit of colour down from each of the lines. Do a little bit at the top too. And we'll do the one on the other side in the same way. So a little bit from the top, and a little bit down from each one. Now there's still quite a lot of little details to go, so I'm not actually going to get it all done in this video. I think I'm going to be rushing and thinking about the time, and I've got some jobs to get on with, so I think it's better if I don't. But I'm going to just finish off the sort of building bits. I'm going to put a little bit of shadow under here, under the rope a little bit, and there. If I was being really finicky, I would think about whether there was some shadow under here or not. Probably would be, but I actually want the background to look darker. So if I put shadow there, I think it will take that away. I'm going to leave it. Let's put a little bit into the curves. I'm just having a look. Right, yes, down here, look, this front piece and the floor are the same. I'm thinking the floor would probably be a bit darker. So I'm going to actually make the floor darker than the wall. Oops, on the rug. Didn't mean to colour the rug. It'll be okay. So just make that a bit darker. Yeah, I think I'm done for now. There isn't loads to do, but I want to do a little bit something with the sky, I think. So it's going to take a little bit more time, so we can do that tomorrow. So we can do, we've got the lamps and the bunting and the bucket and these little bits. It'll take a bit of time to do all those bits and bobs, and then a little bit of something in the background. As I say, I've got an idea. The only thing is we've got this is within a border, so our background might need to be within that border as well, because if I sort of take it out, I shall have a think about that as well, because yeah, that's, I think I've got a way. Yeah, I'll have a think. And also like the top, you know, this has got a border from the top, so we need to sort of bring that down there a bit. So yeah, have a think about that. But for now, have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching, and happy colouring.